Compound transformations are transformations that perform two or more transformations to get from the preimage to the image. Think about compound, like if problems are compounding, there's more than one problem. Okay, so it would be two or more transformations. We're going to do that to this triangle here, so we're translating it 7 units right and 2 units down, and then we're reflecting it over the x-axis. So what I've done is I'll put a table down in the bottom. We're going to first get these points, so TEC. So we're going to say -6, +4. So we have -6, +4. E is -5, 7. And C is -3, 6. So we have our preimage now. We're going to take that and translate it 7 right, 2 down. So our rule would be x plus 7, y minus 2. So 7 right, 2 down. 7 right, 2 down. So this is T prime. E prime would be right here. C prime would be right here. So we have our triangle that is in between. You could also, if you didn't want to do it without the coordinate grid, you could also come down here and say, okay, -6 plus 7 is 1. -5 plus 7 is 2. -3 plus 7 is 4. And then do the same thing for the y's. So all of our y's we're going to subtract 2. So we have 2, 5, 4. And all that I'm doing is I'm taking these numbers and subtracting 2 from them to get these, okay? The one other thing that I want you guys to do is write out the rule. So if you look back at your translations page, we have T, and then what is happening? So we're adding 7 to x, so we would put +7, comma, -2, because we are subtracting 2. Close parentheses, and we're doing that to triangle TEC. That's the first step. So now we have to also reflect over the x-axis. So we know that our x-axis is right there. If you go just based on the graph, guys, we would say, okay, this is 1, 2 away, so we'll go 2 below, and we get this point, so T double prime. E is 5 away, so we'll go 5 below. And then same thing for C, so C is 4, so C double prime right there. So there's our triangle, okay? You are not reflecting this down here. This triangle is our preimage. We do not care about it once we have this one, because we're going from the preimage to the middle one, so our prime, to our double prime, okay? So let's come down here. We know that our rule for reflecting over the x-axis is x comma -y. Notice that since the x is just x, all of our x's come straight over here. So 1, 2, 4. All of our y values are going to change to a negative. So instead of 2, it'll be -2. Instead of 5, it'll be -5. Instead of 4, it would be -4. Okay, so those would be the coordinates of that triangle right there. All right, the only other thing is write out our rule. So R, we're reflecting over the x-axis. And then we are reflecting triangle T prime, E prime, C prime, okay? Because like up here, you're reflecting that one over. So we want to write T prime, or wait, whoops, triangle, T prime, E prime, C prime. Okay? If at any point you need to go over any of this, rewind this video, replay it, pause it, whatever you guys have to do in order to get this. All right? Once you are done with this, I want you guys to, obviously you don't have this page, but I want you guys to look at this page, so it's practice. You are reflecting this triangle over the y-axis. Once you get it, you are then going to rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. So remember what I was talking about with a shower valve. If you're turning the shower valve this way, you're making it hotter, so the temperature is going up, and that is counterclockwise. All right? If you're turning it this way, you're making the water colder, so that would be negative, and that is clockwise. Okay? So you'll have one triangle here. You're going to rotate it down. I would use the patty paper. Wherever your triangle ends up, trace it. Trace the axes, so your X and Y axis, and then rotate that patty paper down. Okay? Do the same thing, write your rules here, and then fill in the coordinates here. Once you get done with that, there's a practice. You can get that, and that practice you want to make sure that you understand what you're doing with compound transformations.